Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Third time's the charm, I hope. So, this is the third time I'm filming this video. First time, it was a little chaotic and disjointed. Second time, I forgot stuff that was actually important from the first video. So, hopefully, here's hoping for the Goldilocks effect. And this one will come out okay. This video is discussing what to expect from various energy healings and the healing process. This video comes with two very important disclaimers. Disclaimer number one is that please understand that every healing modality is going to be very different. The experience is going to be different. The healer is going to be very different. You might have a more secular healer. May have a more spiritual healer. They will do their best to tell you roughly how long they think you will take to heal or how long it's going to take your body to process it. Know that everyone is an individual, and that's kind of just a guidepost that comes from either what they've learned or years of experience. If you need to, always feel free to reach out and ask, is this a normal side effect? Disclaimer number two is that not all healings work. I've basically said this at the beginning of a number of Reiki videos, and in that vein, is that for some people, it just doesn't work. The experience varies. This will never replace regular medicine, medication, doctor's visits, whatever you're doing, this doesn't replace it. This is another layer you can add on for your own benefit and healing purposes. So, baseline. All energy healings work to heal body, mind, and soul. So the idea is to get everything working together and reconnect any fractures in the soul, in the energy body, the etheric body, the aura, whatever terms that are used in the healing modality you're working in, trying to clear blockages out of the physical body, trying to heal physical ailments. However, your practitioner or the specific style of healing you're going for processes that, but the ultimate goal is to heal the bond between body, mind, and soul. I will link to the How Reiki Works video here, not because it's the end all be all, but if you're unfamiliar with this concept, it kind of gives you a baseline to work from. It's not going to apply to every type of energy work, but it is a baseline, and at least you can kind of build from there or, or completely scrap it if you need to. All right, now there's two spectrums that clients fall on, and as a practitioner, you may or may not have run into this, and you kind of need to be at least vaguely aware of it if you're a client, and that is the people who have never had any kind of energy work done before, and the people that go semi-regularly with everyone else kind of falling in the middle. Now, these are two very different ends of the spectrum. The people that have never gone before, I'm going to throw in a caveat here. So if you're one of those people, please try to go for all three sessions. Why? We will get into that. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, you have the people that go fairly regularly. Maybe they belong to a Reiki share, a drum circle. They belong to some kind of group, or where they get what are called surface level healings, where they get maybe 10 or 15 minutes a month or every couple months, and it gives them a little boost. And then maybe seasonally or every 6 months, they go for what's known as a deep healing, which is usually going to be about a half hour to an hour or so, depending on the style that they're working in. So those are the two spectrums. Why is this relevant? So we're going to get back to, no, we're not going to get back to it. So why this is relevant, we will put on hold for a second, because then there is the second type of spectrum that you're dealing with. The people who don't sense any kind of energy, they hear energy and they're, thinking of electrical energy or, physics. a body in motion stays in, whatever is in motion stays in motion, whatever, that whole spiel. I can't remember my physics lessons. I know it's Newton's third law. A body at rest will stay at rest, and a body in motion stays in motion. And then there's kinetic energy. Something will keep moving until something else is put in its way with enough mass and whatnot to make it stop. I am probably grossly oversimplifying that and have not phrased that right, but you get the idea. These are people that have no idea of the energetic world going around them. Then there's the people that are highly sensitive to energy. If you fall into this spectrum, hopefully you know how to protect and shield yourself and how to shut things down. If you don't, I sincerely recommend that you find a teacher, you find books, there are videos. I will link here to the shielding and protection video I have. It's one of my early videos. Maybe it's not the cleanest, but it's something for you to figure out how to do that, because you can't be going out in the world all willy-nilly and letting things glom onto you so that you're walking around with everyone else's crap. It's not good for your health. It's not good for your mental health. And when you go to see an energy worker, they now have to remove all of that and help kind of balance you out. And I don't know if they can really shut you down, but they can help you balance that out and help you figure out how to protect yourself from just all kinds of things. So, yeah, those are the two spectrums. Okay, so that being said, now, more often than not, you will hear people talk about the kind of this. I almost said the rule of three. It's not the rule of three, it's the 3 initial sessions. This is going to be especially true if you've never had any energy work done before, or if you have had something significantly happen in your life, or if you haven't had healings done in a long time. And there is a reason for that. So it can take those initial 3 sessions for that practitioner to clear everything out for the energy to actually work. So it might be that, if you're 40, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old and you're going for your first healing, please go for all 3 sessions if you like the person and you like the modality. If you don't, that will make it very difficult. Unfortunately, that will make you less inclined to go, and that's understandable. But all things considered, please try to go, and if you can afford it, because it might take that person literally that long just to clear out all that time of just energy blockages, unbalances. If you have any cords that need to be cut, if you have any energetic attachments that need to be removed, if you have any spirit attachments that need to be removed, it might take that person those 3 sessions to just keep clearing out all of the stuff. Hopefully not. And this is where that kind of disclaimer comes in, where some people can go for their initial session and feel fantastic, and then there are people that will come out and be like, you didn't really do anything. So that's one of those things I would just ask of you, is to please follow through. And that's really why it's broken. A lot of times things are broken into 3 sessions, because it allows for a much deeper, exceptionally deeper healing, especially if you need it. If there's something going on in your life that really requires a deeper healing, or if this is your first time doing this. All right, so now, what to expect afterwards? Well, it very much is going to depend on the style of healing. Take Reiki, for example. Most people after a Reiki session will either feel kind of uplifted after their session. They may feel very tired and kind of just very zen, a little spacey, just very relaxed after their session. And then the next day they're like, woo, they've got this great energy boost, and it will carry through for, could be maybe a week, couple days, couple weeks. It depends on the person. But they will, Reiki should never cause pain. However, You will note, and you will probably notice that most practitioners will ask, I don't know if this is true in acupuncture, it might be, but I know in different styles of energy work, you know, limit your no alcohol, no drugs except for prescription medication, minimize caffeine, and try to eat a healthy diet. Try to cut out processed foods. Those are basically the big four that you will come across. Watch your sugar intake. Um, that might fall under processed foods, or that could be another one. So, and they're going to ask you to do this after the fact as well. And it could be for anywhere for a week to 2 weeks before your session to a week to 2 weeks after your session. More normally it might be, a couple days, 2-3 days before and after, but it's gonna very much depend on the type of healing. So, and the reason why that is, and the reason why they'll tell you eat protein, have nuts, chocolate, go outside, drink plenty of water, is that it's your body is now trying to flush itself. Make sure you get enough sleep. It's part self-care, part allowing the body, the physical body, the energetic body, and the mental body to all heal and allow the healing to take place. So now for, say, a shamanic healing, you may not feel it until the next day. You might feel kind of tired afterward. You might feel kind of run down, but you may not feel the exact effects until the next day. I recently had a soul retrieval done, woke up the next day with a splitting migraine, and messaged my teacher because I was learning how to do the class. So I did it on someone, she did it on me. And I'm like, is this a byproduct of the soul retrieval? Is this the soul pieces integrating? Did I do something wrong? Is it possible that the person that was learning made a mistake? No, it was allergies and my body being like, you need to sit your ass down and rest. We need more sleep, which I did. So it was that healing process, but it was also my body saying, yeah, we know you did this great thing for us and thank you, but lie your ass back down in bed and go back to sleep. We need that. So you might have instances like that. Now, I actually had another style of healing. This was a body code healing. After the day after, I have sciatica. I have hip problems. My hips were bothering me so much after the fact. And this has actually happened to me after drum circle too, after certain healings. Instead of the pain going away, it may actually flare up for a day, for the next few hours or the day after, and then it will dissipate. And that is something that you do need to be prepared for. That it's one of those flukes in healing where your body needs to kind of flush it out of the system, and in flushing it out, it just ignites, and all the pain is there, and then it goes away. Some people, depending on the depth of the healing, that same body code healing, I was out of commission for a month. I was exhausted. I couldn't focus. I didn't want to do anything. So it will also depend on the depth of the healing. So if you have any kind of healing done, regardless of the style, that is dealing with some really deep foundational belief systems, habits, oh God, what else? Belief systems, habits, thought patterns. I can't even begin to think of all the things, but things that stem from your childhood, your teenage years, from being in utero. You can pick up stuff in utero, whether it is from your parents or something that has carried over from a past life. You may carry certain things with you. these issues are so deeply ingrained within you that when they are reset, cleared out, removed, it can throw the body into like this kind of funk that can last for a significant time. It shouldn't last more than a month, but do talk to your practitioner and ask otherwise, because they may say it. They may say it in passing. They may say it outright. You're gonna be out of it for at least 2 weeks to a month, because that is something that basically you're resetting on a soul level. Like that is a foundational cell, whether you want to talk about resetting on a cellular level or a soul level, that's what it is. Different types of healings, whether I know with shamanism and with Reiki, you will definitely be told to lay low because you will be hypersensitive, because now the energy field is healing, the body is healing, you're reacclimating, you've had stuff removed, and the energy body that's been filled in with whatever light, golden, it's Reiki energy. I'll use like what's known as the golden mud technique or the golden earth, where you put in like um, healing earth energy into the wound. Some people do medicine for the earth. This will very much be determined by the training the person has, because this is where, depending on the modality, depending on the person, depending on the training, they may start mixing different things. I recently met someone who is an acupuncturist and also a shamanic practitioner. So he mixes his acupuncture with his or he mixes shamanism into his acupuncture, I believe. And so I've also had a lot of people talk about going for acupuncture appointments and just being in that really kind of zen, kind of loose body, foggy state, having to drive home. So, but after all of these, you will be told to lay low for at least 24 hours if you can. So, do not schedule your appointments right before a big event. So, if it's a party, a wedding, a graduation, you're going on vacation, try not to do that, because it's going to be very rattling and unsettling for that first 24 hours and you will not enjoy yourself. So, you can also heal ancestral issues. I know how to do that through shamanism. That can also be done through the emotion code or the body code. I'm sure there are other healings that do that as well. Um, those are the kind of healings where anyone that carries that specific issue or anyone that has been tied to that issue is now removed, the connection is severed. So if you're doing something and it affects your children, I am curious if the people that have, if it reverberates kind of down the line and they're a little out of whack too. So if you do have a healing done and it addresses some ancestral issue, do let your children know, or I don't know if you want to let your siblings know, because siblings, you may not always know who it's going to affect. So if you know you have a child or a sibling that is, or even a cousin that is particularly sensitive to energy, you may want to give them a heads up that I had this healing done, there was this ancestral issue that was cleared out, and you might be a little out of sorts. I don't know if it's as bad for them. It will affect them. They will get better. But I don't know if how that I actually don't know how that works, because I have no siblings and I have no children. I've seen it work backwards. I have had things cleared out and seen my parents do better and seen them release things and their personalities change. So I have seen it I've seen it work that way, where I was the one that inherited it and it was cleared out of them. Were they? I don't know if they were. They might have been slightly out of sorts, but not as much. The person that has it done is the one that's usually the one that's kind of me. And then sometimes you don't feel anything. to be brutally honest. I had one healing done, my mom had a healing done, and it didn't really feel much of anything. I think that day or the next day I was kind of run down. I just ended up sleeping more and then I was fine. I don't know if she really had any adverse effects. So, there might be instances where you are told something might happen or just be aware of and you have absolutely no side effects. Good on you. I shouldn't say that. You don't have any negative side effects. You have the positive ones, but not the negative ones. So that's always good. If you've never had a healing done before and you have thought about it, you've discussed it with someone, go when you're ready. Generally, that's what happens. I've had people that have talked about it and then they come and see me when they're ready. That might be a week, a month, a year or two after the fact. So please go when you're ready. Don't feel like you are being pushed to do this because you have to be willing to release these things. Let me say that again for the people in the back. You have to be willing to release whatever it is. So the best advice I can give you is go in with an open mind and an open heart with no expectations because you may get information that you weren't expecting that maybe you don't want to hear. Maybe it's a little unnerving if it's your first time and you're like, whoa, how did they know so much? Spirit works in wonderful ways. Um, but just be aware of that because here's the thing, if you are not willing to release it, I can fix one thing, but regretfully not releasing it may mean that you bring it back to you in a different form. So, a soul retrieval. I can bring your soul pieces back and make you whole again. But if you are not willing to move past an issue, you're not willing to forgive, you're not willing to let go, well, that soul piece may not leave again. You may be put into a situation where you lose a different piece. Same set of circumstances, or no, maybe not same set of circumstances, but something similar but different. Similar emotions. There's the phrase I'm looking for. Similar emotions. It's the same. Is it the same thing with sometimes with attachments? They can be removed and cleared, but if you keep up that same thought pattern, if you keep up same habits, it can come back and then it has to be removed again. So be willing and open to release and to heal. You don't have to be. You can come and you can receive it and you can go through all the steps and then you can repeat history. And if that is what your soul needs to do in order for you to learn, so be it. For some people that's kind of what it is they have to repeat their mistakes a few different times and then it clicks. As an outsider, it's exceptionally frustrating to watch. But sometimes that's just what has to happen. But that is the best advice I can give you if you have never gone before, or maybe it's been a while since you've gone, is be open in mind and heart to let go, to release, to heal, to give yourself permission to heal. That it's okay. I am in a safe place and that I'm ready to let go of whatever it is and I'm ready to welcome in whatever it is to come. You also have to be open to change because hopefully what you want to do in some of these healings is besides healing body, mind, and soul, you want to help people start to change for the better. And that might be moving forward in life changes that are good. And that is what we want for you. So I hope you find this video helpful. if you would be so kind, we are 8 subscribers away from 100. So if you would be so kind as to like, subscribe, share, I don't know, whatever, it would be much appreciated. Let's see if we can't get to the 100 subscriber mark. All right. Thank you so much for dropping by, and I'll see you again soon, friends. Bye.